Jim Roman here, and welcome to another episode of the Jim Roman Show, where we talk about how to build a better business to build a better life. I'm your host, Jim Roman, and I want to welcome you. Welcome you to this new series, Removing the Roadblocks to Growth, Getting Through the Roadblocks to Growth, and so much more. I don't know about you, but what I find in growing a business, I get stuck quite often. And so what can you do to get unstuck? And in this series, four-part series, we're going to be talking about what people actually have done to get through the roadblocks of growth. In fact, I'm going to show you 7 ways to remove those roadblocks, get through those roadblocks. So let's get started. If this is your first time to our show, welcome. Feel free to comment below, ask questions and things like that. If you like what you see, we highly recommend that you follow us on social media, like, share, and follow for more tips like this. So let's get into today's series. Part 1 of this series is getting through the roadblocks to growth. If you're like me, growing a business can be tough. In fact, you may have seen in previous episodes where we talk about the 9 stages of business ownership. In the early stages of a business, it usually owns you. In the later stages, you own it. And so what can you do to remove the roadblocks to growth, push through the roadblocks to growth, or get over the roadblocks to growth? I'm going to share 7 things that you can do to do that, in no particular order. In fact, I'm going to be focusing on in this episode companies that are below $250,000 in revenue or have 3 or less employees or no employees. Next week, I'm going to be talking about how to get through $500,000 in revenue, then $750,000, and then we'll finish up the series on how to get past $1 million in series. Regardless if you're new to business, you've been around business for a long time, these principles apply throughout the stages of growth and throughout the stages of ownership. So let's jump into what you could do to remove, get through, get over your first roadblock. So one of the first roadblocks I find in growing a business, any business, is finding the drive to get out of bed, to get the drive to do it on your own, to get the drive to make that happen. And one of the ways we help people to get through that roadblock is typically find out why they do what they do. We suggest they check out our 5 drivers course at jimromanonline.com, where it talks about the 5 drivers to success. And one of those drivers is knowing your purpose and passion for your product or service. I remember working with somebody who was selling copiers. She came into my office and she said, Jim, I'm here for my free 45-minute consultation. I said, great. She says, can I get it for free? I said, yes, that's why it's called a free consultation. And it's 45 minutes. I said, yes. She says, okay, great. Teach me everything I need to know about sales. I was like, what? Teach you everything about sales in 45 minutes? And I got to thinking, why would she have asked me this question where she already has a product? She supposedly was trained on that product. And all of a sudden I had an aha moment. I realized that so many companies train you on the product, but not necessarily on how to prospect that product. So over the next 40 to 45 minutes, I was able to show her how to do that. And one of the ways of doing that, I've always asked people, why do they do what they do? If you're a real estate agent, why do you do what you do? If you are a copier salesperson in this example, why do you do what you do? If it's just to make money, that's not enough to push through the roadblocks to growth. It just isn't. Not at least be able to sustain it after so a period of time. I'll give you another example. You may have heard in previous episodes, I was working with a realtor. She'd been in real estate for a long time, pretty successful, but she hit a wall. She hit a roadblock. And I asked her, why did she do what she did? And she says, I want to help people own a home, have their dream home. And I said, that's great, but I didn't see the purpose and passion behind that statement. As I dug deeper and deeper and deeper, and I pushed her a little bit, she says, well, I think that a home is one of your biggest assets and your biggest investments. And it's important that you get the right home. Not only that, she said, but that home is where you raise your family as part of a community. That's why I do what I do, Jim. And I was like, whoa. I said, Sandy, did you hear what you just said? She goes, yes. I'm like, wow, that is so powerful that this is the biggest investment in people's lives. It's an important investment. And it's a place where they can raise their family as part of a community. And that is what she reconnected to and why she got into the business in the first place. And I believe that if you're hitting a wall, then you should be asking yourself, why do you do what you do? I hit walls regularly and consistently. I remember one time coming home to the office and I said to one of my colleagues, I said, I quit. It's 4 o'clock. I'm done. I give up. And she goes, well, I quit at 1 o'clock, so I beat you. And the point was that I forgot why I did what I did because I had a tough day. And in property management, in real estate, in construction, contracting, you can have a tough day. And you can have a tough month, and you can have a tough quarter, and even a tough year. And so one of the places I suggest people consider doing or going to is their purpose and passion behind their product or their profession. That is one of the ways to push through it. If you know my purpose and passion, it's to help people get closer to God. Reason being is that people use time and money as an excuse to not give back to themselves, their families, or the communities. And if I can help them to give back, giving back is showing love, and love gets you closer to God, whether you believe or not, you are doing that. And I want to do that through business. I want to help people build a better business to build a better life. If you know my story, my dad passed away of a heart attack at age 62. And when he died, our family restaurant died. And people are dying in the business every day. And I don't want that to do that. This is taking a toll on families and marriages, on their community. And if I can make a difference then to fix that or solve for that or support that, them being successful, then I'm doing my purpose on the planet. As you can see, I'm getting excited and I'm smiling about this whole topic. And that's what gets me out of bed every day in most cases. So what's the second thing that you can do to be able to push through the roadblocks? And this is no particular order, but the second thing that I would be doing is I would want to figure out a market, a target market that I love helping. So often when I ask people who do they help or who do they want to be introduced to, they would say anybody. I was recently doing a talk last week for a Christian Chamber of Commerce, and I was talking about people in the healthcare industry, skincare industry. Specifically, I was talking about Mary Kay people. When I meet Mary Kay people, I always ask them who they want to meet, and they always say anybody with skin. And the problem with that is not everybody with skin cares to use the Mary Kay product, or any products for that matter. So really, it's not everybody, it's those who really would benefit from that product and service. And what I've learned in the Mary Kay industry and similar industries, that their best target market are teachers, realtors, and nurses. Teachers, realtors, and nurses. Why? Because these people need to have confidence. They need to be, consistent in their jobs. And what Mary Kay, the original founder of Mary Kay, did is she set out to empower women. It wasn't to sell makeup. It was to empower women. And who better to empower? Teachers, realtors, and nurses. And every time I talk to the Mary Kay people, they go, yeah, that's exactly who we target. Then say that. But the point is this, is that teachers, realtors, and nurses work really, really, really hard. They work hard, and they need to be pampered. Here comes Mary Kay. They need the confidence. Here comes Mary Kay. They need to look their best. Here comes Mary Kay. And that community is amazing. So for some of you, what's stopping you from going to the next level is you're going after a target market that may need and want your service, but isn't willing to pay for that service. Find those people need, want, and willing to buy. I'll give you an example of that. We work with a construction company, remodeling company, and their target market at that time were people who wanted repairs to their homes around $3,000 in revenue. Well, the challenge with $3,000 in revenue with this company's business model is that they don't make any money. With the staff they have, the insurances they have, the equipment, the tools, $3,000 didn't do it. They happen to be doing some decking in the downtown area of this particular town, 2 to 3 story decks for colleges area. And they really love those kind of jobs. Those jobs are a minimum of $8,000 or more. When we started talking to the owner of this construction company, he started getting excited because he loves those types of products because it uses his ability to use his craftsmanship. He loves building things, crafting things. And as he talked more and more about these decks and how to solve for how he's going to install them and how to create them to create outdoor experiences for the people who use them, he started lighting up. And at an $8,000 minimum or more, he could not only feed himself, but feed his team. And interesting enough, because he has a higher target market or higher average sale, he's able to do less jobs per month, less work per month, and enjoy the fruits of his labors. For some of you, the target market you're going after is anybody where nobody's going to end up buying from you. But if you can be specific, that is terrific. The more specialist you can become, the more money you will make. And for some of us, our target market is off. They're the people who don't have the money, don't have the capacity, don't see the long-term vision for your product or service. And maybe that's what we need to be looking at is who are you targeting? Do they need and want it? But can they afford it? Can they buy it? And again, we've helped many people look at that, going after people can need, want, and buy. And next thing you know it, they remove that roadblock and they go to the next level. What's the third thing you can do? The third thing you can do to remove the roadblocks, push through the roadblocks, is doing the math. So we talked about mindset, your purpose and passion behind your product and service. It's all about your mindset. If you have a purpose and passion, then you're going to more willing to push through anything. We then talked about your market, targeting people who need, want, and will willing to buy your service, and you're passionate about helping. If you like helping families, then help families. If you like helping women-based businesses, then help women-based businesses. If you like helping people in the property management industry, then go after people in the property management industry. Well, the third thing is knowing the math, mindset, market, and math. Do you know how many appointments or proposals you need to do on a weekly basis to hit your number? What do I mean by that? Well, this is a big topic. So often when I meet people, salespeople, sales teams, and even owners of companies, usually at the end of the month, they're going, I hope I made enough sales. I hope I have enough money in my bank account. Well, at the end of the month, that is too late. I want to know ahead of time if I'm going to hit my number. So one of the things we do is do the math. How many appointments per week do you need? How many sales a week do you need per week? And ultimately, how many proposals do you need to do per week? I'll give you an example of this. We were working with a flooring contractor, someone who had a flooring store in Virginia. You've heard me talk about this story because I love this story. She was in our life goal seminar that we have coming up, by the way, at the end of June. And in fact, in the month of June, our theme is going to be living your life beyond your business. Stay tuned for that. In this life goal seminar, we wrote down all of her goals and aspirations she would love to have. She wanted to have a house. She wanted to have savings. She wanted to be able to travel. She wanted to do a bunch of things. And we added up the math and we divided it by her average sale. And we figured out she only needed 8 sales more a month to be able to hit her goals. That's 2 a week. When she realized it was only 2 a week that she had to do to hit the cash flow to have the life she wanted, the next thing you know it, she pushed through it, hit it, and exceeded it. For some of us, we don't know our number of appointments or proposals we need on a weekly basis, and so some of you are working too hard, or you're not working hard enough. I'll give you an example again. If you had to have 3 proposals out a week based on your closing ratio, based on your average sale, you want to talk about that? Sign up for one of our complimentary coaching sessions. We'll talk about your numbers specifically. But if you needed 3 appointments per week based on that, you would hit your number by the end of the week and also by the end of the month. And you only had 1 appointment 1 week, 2 appointments 1 week, 1 appointment the following week, and it was like 1, 2, 1, 1, 0. The odds of you achieving your goal are probably very slim. But if it was 3 and you had 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, you most likely 90% if not higher will hit your number. Knowing your number is important to removing the roadblock, pushing through the roadblock. And I highly recommend that you check that out. In fact, it reminds me of our fast track class that we have starting up really soon. If you want to find out about our 90-day program designed to double your business, your income, your sales, your commission, depending on what number you're shooting for, within 3 to 6 months. Almost guaranteed. We can't guarantee it for legal reasons, but a lot of people have had huge success. If you want to find out more about that, comment below or message me. I'll tell you more about that later. So now we talked about mindset, we talked about math, now we talked about market. Let's talk about your message. Message. This is a big one. Message is an important element that if you have the right message that is magnetic, it will attract the right market. Market. So again, you have a message that is magnetic, it will attract the right market for you. For example, I am looking into this very topic for one of our products we're launching later this year in September. And one of the things we're working on is how do we create a magnetic message? If you know Jim Roman's message, it is to build a better business to build a better life. If that's of interest to you, come see us. We also have another message for our Micro to Millions program. You may have heard me say in a previous episode. Hi, I'm Jim Roman. I help companies go from micro to millions while having a life. What's interesting about that is there not many people want to go to $1 million, but a lot of people want to have a life. Or people who are at $1 million don't have a life. And so you can see how much that is somewhat magnetic that will hopefully attract the market. Not everybody, but people that resonates with. So you might want to be able to target single moms. Maybe your target mom is to be able to have single moms to have a life beyond their circumstances. or helping single moms be empowered to do more for the people around them, to include themselves. And you have a class, course, product, or service that can help them, empower them, lift them, energize them, and things like that. By focusing your message and making it magnetic, it's going to attract the right market. I'll give you a perfect example of this. We were working with a gentleman, a sales professional, who sold seals for hydraulic lifts and hydraulic machines. These are round O's that go into the hydraulics to keep the hydraulic fluid inside it. When we asked him why he did what he did, he says, well, I got to make money, got to pay my bills, and I have to provide for my family. And so that's why I do what I do. So as we started working on his magnetic message, again, now he's been in business for a while, been selling for a while, pretty successful for a while. When he figured out that he does what he does to keep America going again, making America strong again, well before Trump came out with his campaign. This was years before Trump was even in elected office. It was super powerful. I help manufacturing companies keep America great again, keep America working again, keeping them strong. He finally got to a purpose and passion, a magnetic message that what he is selling is not seals for hydraulic equipment, but keeping manufacturing companies running so employees can have jobs. That pumped him up, that psyched him up, and guess what? He doubled his business within 3 to 6 months. All because we figured out a magnetic message. He can go out in the world when he's networking and say, I help America stay strong again, keep people employed in America through manufacturing jobs, and I do that through selling seals to the manufacturing industry. I guarantee his competition was not saying the same thing. And I bet you any money he wins over and over because of that magnetic message. My question is, when's the last time you looked at your message, and has it or is it magnetic enough to generate interest when you go networking, interest when you post on social media, interest when you talk about it? If it's not, I highly recommend you look at that roadblock to remove it, to move to the next level. Well, we're coming almost to the end of time, so I don't want to run out of time. I'll go over 3 more really quickly. Number 5 on the way to remove the roadblocks or push through the roadblocks is methods for bringing in business. What methods, strategies, and tactics are you using to bring in business? Do you like to cold call, or do you like getting referrals? Do you like to advertise, or do you like to network? Are you an introvert, or are you an extrovert? What I have found, some of our most successful strategies and tactics with our clients in doubling their businesses, growing their businesses, taking it to the next stage, is figuring out the strategies and tactics or the methods they can use to bring in business. For an introvert, for an extrovert, or like myself, I'm an ambivert. I'm a cross between the two. I hate cold calling, but I love to be able to build referral-based businesses. And so finding those strategies and tactics work for you, whether it's cold calling, advertising, marketing, networking, referrals, etc., etc., etc. Building referral sources, circle of influences, strategic partnerships, and things like that, I think can make the biggest difference. And so finding the methods that work for you over and over and over, such that you can't wait to do those methods over and over and over. That, my friends, will take you to the next level and beyond if you can crack the code on that. Last 2 things you can do to remove the roadblocks to growth. Number 6 is, how do you manage yourself? How do you manage your time? How do you manage the activities that you have? I wish I had more time on that. I highly recommend you check out my blog at jimromanonline.com. Click on the blog tab. We wrote a particular topic on how to save time by creating time article that talks specifically about that. But ultimately, how are you blocking your time so you have time to bring in business, to follow up on that business, to build relationships, to get the work done, to do the paperwork? So often the reason people don't get past the roadblock is that they're not managing their time, or more importantly, their activities, to be able to get it all done while having a life. And then finally, number 7, the 7th thing you can do to remove your roadblocks to growth is get a mentor. Get a mentor to help you with your mindset, your market, your message, your method, the way you manage things, and so on and so on and so on. Get a mentor. Don't do this alone. You know me, I say this all the time. Lone Ranger did not do it by himself. The Lone Ranger had Tonto and Silver. And most successful people have never done it on their own. Bill Gates had a partner. Walt Disney had a partner. Henry Ford had a partner. Dale Carnegie had a partner. All of these people had partners in crimes to help partner with them in getting the things done to get to the next level, to push through those roadblocks. So if you do not have a mentor, I highly recommend you get one. If you need to find one, reach out to us. We can recommend you to ones that we know, or ones that we would suggest you talk to help you through this journey of life, and more importantly, this journey of business, so that you can build a better business, better life. So hopefully you enjoyed this first part series. These are things that you do, my finding, that push past 0 employees to 3 employees or to $250,000 in revenue and beyond. Join us next week. We're going to be talking about other strategies to be able to get you to $500,000 from hiring, firing, managing, delegating, and other things like that is what we'll be talking about in the next episode. As always, if you like what you see, please follow, like, and share. I'm on all the social media platforms. And as always, if you have comments or questions, please put those down below. With that being said, I want to thank you again for being a part of our episode. I am Jim Roman. Remember, the more you know, the more we grow. God bless and have a great day.